Hi everybody, I'm Chuck and I'll be your captain and your chaplain on this flight. This evening we're flying from Buffalo International. It's Kilo Bravo Uniform Foxtrot to LaGuardia International, New York, and that's Kilo Lima Golf Alpha. So what we're going to do is we're going to get the aircraft started up, go through a modified checklist, and then we're going to get off the ground. This is a sunset flight, so it should be pretty cool. So let's jump into the cockpit and get started. Notice we got our friendly Aeromexico right in front of us. So let's get to the checklist. All right, like I said, it's a modified checklist, and so we're not doing everything. The engines are actually fired up, so let's go back here, and oops. Okay, ground services, let's set the chocks. And next up, we're gonna check our fuel. All right, check the fuel here. There it is, fuel. I'm gonna set it up to 45,000. Give us a little bit more fuel. I flew this route the other day, so that'll be good. Okay, let's make sure that the that we have the truck on the way. All right, good. Okay. Let's continue on with the checklist here. Okay, we're going to turn on some logo lights and anti-collision lights already on, wheel well light. Usually you only need that for the pilot to check. He's doing this outer check, so we turn that back off. All right, I'm just cycling through all these different things that have to be done normally. Okay, we're gonna program our flight into the FMC. Okay, so let's see here. We're going from Kilo. Always get mixed up on these Bravo Uniform Foxtrot. Okay, so that's our origin, and we're heading to LaGuardia, which is Kilo Lima. Let's see here, Lima Golf Alpha. That's our destination. We have a pre-programmed route, and Mike uniform. Okay, and we'll plug that in there and activate it and execute. Okay, flight number is, let's see here, November, Papa, Lima, 411, and we'll plug that in there. Okay, so we should be good to go on that. Just check our legs and make sure everything's in properly. It looks really good. Okay, let's continue on with the checklist. Turn on some lights. Let's see here. Let's turn on our taxi lights. All our lights are already on. Good. Okay. All right, we're going to remove the chocks. Let's see here. Remove the chocks and then call for a pushback. So all right.
Okay, push cart coming.
Okay, let's check outside and we'll have a push cart coming up pretty quickly and give us a pushback. So we're flying out of, let's see, our runway is,
Here we go.
it's runway 23. Now, you can notice that this artificial intelligence is not so intelligent as far as the vehicles are concerned. Notice they're just running right through my airplane, but that's okay. Okay, apparently the pushback decided that was enough. He had had enough and he wasn't gonna play with those artificial intelligent folks. Let me let him get out of the way. Let this little cart go by. Maybe not, huh? Okay. We're gonna get out of the way of all this intelligent stuff that's not so intelligent. Okay. Get out here on the ramp and we're gonna set up our autopilot. I actually noticed that aircraft were making their way down the taxiway to 23. And we'll hit on that. Here comes one right now. There she goes. NPL Airlines. How about that? Okay, so we're gonna get down as we taxi here. We're gonna set ourselves up for a good takeoff. One of the things that I forgot to do is set up the autopilot. We'll do that when we get down to the end of the taxiway and just set up the autopilot real quick. I hope you're doing well. I know that with all this COVID stuff, things are kind of crazy, and I'd like to just make sure that you know you're in my thoughts and prayers. I'm praying for people daily as they struggle with all the nuances of COVID-19. It's not just that people are getting sick, they're losing their jobs. People are going hungry in various places, and there's just all kinds of fallout. So I'm thinking about you, praying for you. Hopefully something like this gives you an opportunity just to check out and chill out for a little bit. So should have stopped back there at that line, but we're just make believe that ATC gave us clearance just to go on through. All right. Real pilots, don't be too hard on me. The only thing I've flown is a paper airplane and a simulator like this. So you got to give much grace in these situations. So my family is doing good. It's my wife and I, and then we have a young single gal living with us during the quarantine, and we're just one big happy family having fun. Today we had a international summit. It was all online, and we had every continent represented except for Antarctica. So it was pretty cool. And I asked the guys how much it cost to host 700 plus people for, it lasted hours. In fact, it's still going on right now with breakouts and such. It costs $220 to do that because we're using all free services, and they had to buy a little bit of software, make life easier, but that's 6 continents, 700 and some odd people, and it costs us $220 to pull that off. You really don't need all that much money to do ministry, really. Okay, let's jump back in here, and I want to set up my autopilot real quick. All right, I'm going to turn on my flight director, both sides. I'm going to remind myself what the initial headings are. Just make sure that this is connected. And let's see here. Right, my headings are not showing up, but we'll do this again here. All right. All right, 109 is my initial heading. So I'm just gonna punch that in here just to remind myself what it is. Again, I'm not a real pilot, so I have no clue what I'm doing, except for one thing. Here's the one thing I know what I'm doing. I'm having fun, and I'm hanging out with you. So I'm super stoked about that. So we're gonna initially get up to 10,000 feet. Okay. Comes a little Cessna coming in. That was cool. 10,000 feet. We're gonna initially shoot for 210 knots. 215, that's good. All right, like I said, our heading, we want 109. And we'll just leave that one alone. Auto thrust is armed. Okay, flight directors are on. Good. I pushed the LNAV, hoping that it would turn on, but it doesn't. I'll have to get up to altitude. I'm going to set my auto brakes to RTO. I should have done that earlier. Apparently, I rushed too quickly through the checklist. And you really do need a checklist on this thing. All right, I'm going to check the live stream real quick and just see if there's any of you watching. I'm a new live YouTuber, so don't anticipate that a whole lot of people are watching, but I'll just check it out. let's mute this. All right. So if you want to, you can make comments now, and I'll try to respond if I can. But yeah, we're live and everything seems to be working well. All right, so let's take off. Once we get into the air, then we're gonna do a little devotional. Today's devotional is the Big Fisherman. All right, so we're gonna talk about Peter, one of Jesus's disciples, and talk about one of his, maybe not first meetings with Jesus, but it was one of the first. So it was up there. Okay, we're lined up. Flaps are at 15. And we're going to bring this up to 40% thrust and then go full thrust and take off the brakes. All right, that's 40% down there in the lower right hand corner. Brakes are off, up to full throttle. All right, and we're off. And we should catch a really good looking sunset in round
80 knots.
I adjusted the record. I have a guy coming. You better hurry up. Good thing you're a fighter jet.
Positive rate.
All right, gears up.
400.
All right. See if I can
1,000.
turn into the line slope to intercept my flight route, and then I'll be able to engage the autopilot, at least in theory. I've been trying to figure this thing out. So, all right, flaps are up. Just realizing there's some lights that I should have turned off while we were sitting at the edge of the runway there. Taxi lights are still on. I'm still getting used to this big aircraft. So this one and the helicopter have been pretty challenging, I must say. By the way, a lot of YouTubers, and I don't blame them, I think this is good. They're very interested in subscriptions and likes and all that stuff. You know what I'm interested in? I'm interested in helping you grow spiritually. So if you I don't care about the likes and the subscription, but I do care that your spiritual health is improving. That's what I'd like to see. So if that's accomplished, then we're good to go. So like I said, I'm your captain and your chaplain on this flight. Was an Army chaplain for 10 years. Previous to that, I was enlisted. So I went from a private to first sergeant, spent 19 years enlisted, and then 10 years as a chaplain. So you can get a little bit of my pedigree, my past, and really want to help people spiritually. Okay, we're coming up on 8:50. I'm going to turn on the LNAV here real quick so I can intercept our route. And like I said, I'm really hoping that we can engage the autopilot without any problems. Okay, drifting a little bit too much. All right, but we're looking good. We're looking real good. We're at 9.7. I can start leveling out here. Okay. Well, it doesn't want to play. So we'll just keep on our route until it does. All right. Good. All right. The last time I had to hand fly this thing to 30,000 feet. So we might take a while before we get there, but that's okay. That's all right. So you're gonna hear that annoying buzzer go off every time I try to engage the autopilot. Again, if it doesn't bug you, it doesn't bug me. And I'm sure there's a way to do this. And one of the things is I mess with the flight plan, and that's probably one of my undoings.
Ladies
But
and gentlemen, the seatbelt sign will be switched off shortly. However, for your own safety, we recommend that you keep your seatbelt loosely fastened in case of any unexpected turbulence. We have an excellent team on board today, and we are all happy to offer you any assistance you may require throughout the flight. Our in-flight entertainment has begun.
all right, turn off the fasten seatbelt signs. I got those squared away flight attendants.
Remain seated with your seatbelt fastened until the seatbelt sign has been switched off.
Beautiful. All right, we're continuing to climb, but I'm gonna, I forgot to make my announcements here, but let's make them. We're at 13. If you're wondering what I'm looking at, I got a HP tablet over here to my left with my flight instruments on it. I got the YouTube live stream on the laptop right in front of me. And then over here to the right, I have an iPad with Flight Plan Go, not Glow, Flight Plan Go, and it actually tracks my flight on a live map. So maybe sometime I'll show that to you, but right now I need to pay attention to what I'm doing because I'm flying all over the place, trying to get up to 30,000 feet. And let's just pull it over, and hopefully we can, let's try it again. Nope. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get up to 30,000 feet. So all right. Okay, let's make that leveling off announcement here.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again from the flight deck, we'll level off now at our cruising altitude. We're going to go ahead and turn off the fasten seatbelt sign. I'd like to kindly ask if you are staying in your seats to keep those seatbelts comfortably fastened for your safety. Onboard computer showing an on-time arrival, no ATC delays either. We're going to stay quiet up here. Have you enjoy the flight and the service. Once again, welcome aboard.
Okay, we're gonna just have to go to 30,000 to engage this thing. Hey, if you're an experienced pilot or flight simulator dude and you understand Zebo 737-800 and why the autopilot doesn't engage sooner, just put that in the comments below. Sorry about that. I had to cough and I didn't want to blow out your eardrums. As soon as we get on the autopilot, I'd like to take a little look outside, show you the aircraft, show you the sunset. Actually, we probably ought to do that here pretty soon so we don't miss it. There you go. Pretty. It's one of my favorite things about flying is sunrises and sunsets. Amazing. We're at 20,000 feet now, 10,000 to go. And we're right on course. So everything is looking good. Just got to get up to that 30,000 foot mark. We're at basically 225 knots now, which is not the max speed for this aircraft by any means. But once we get up to 30,000 feet, we can put down the gas pedal. Alright, we're climbing still. Flew this flight yesterday and had a hard landing, but it's better to have a hard landing than you know, my grading system is you're fired, rest in peace, did anybody survive? You don't want those three. So if you can just get on the ground in one piece, that's pretty good for a pilot like me. You know, you might be wondering, why is an old guy like me playing a game? I'm almost 61 years old, and man, I just love this flight simulator. I've been playing flight simulators when they first came out. All they were is sticks. And I was in the Army. I was a young buck sergeant, and I heard that in education centers, you could play on a computer a flight game. And like I said, it was just sticks, and on a green screen, and the sticks were light green. But man, I used to have fun flying that thing, and I got hooked. I've followed flight simulation ever since then. And so, but one of the other things is I realized that this is a good ministry. We're sitting around flying, and we can talk about our spiritual life and how has Jesus transformed you, or how will he transform you. So it's pretty cool to be able to do this and have a ministry as well. So, all right, we're continuing to climb 25,000. Probably could have got up there quicker, but don't want to make the folks in the back sick, you know. So I'm trying to be a good pilot. But we can keep on climbing. It's not a very interesting view, I know. Let's go outside. All right. You can see an airport down there just slightly left. You see the blinking light and the runway lights. All right, 27,000, almost there. Whoa, okay, I'm getting a little crazy. That's because my speed is dropping. All right, let's get this thing under control. Level out a little bit and let it pick up some speed. That's what I get for flying on the outside. All right. I was trying to gain too much altitude too quickly with not enough speed. So I'm sure others could really coach me well on this. Probably ought to put my instruments up there so I'm not looking down constantly. All right, we're at 20,000, 28,000. Let's check out that sunset. There you go. Got the jet stream going on. You know, if you're watching and you want to ask questions, feel free. I'll try to check the chat, and I'll try to answer the questions the best I can. So my goal is to get up to 30,000 feet and get that autopilot turned on so I can just kind of relax a little bit. So we're at 28,000. I'm going to level out here a little bit. hard flying from the outside. I'm flying purely instruments over here, trying to keep it on course. All right. Get some speed and try to make up that other 3,000 feet. You know, you watch these guys on YouTube, I mean, they are good. It's amazing what they can do as they're flying, as they're doing YouTube live. It's just crazy when you think about it. So, but everybody starts somewhere, and that's one of the great things about this. Probably making you sick by that outside view, but one of the great things about this is that we can learn something new. I love that. That's one of the reasons why I'm doing YouTube live, is because it's an opportunity to learn. And if you're not learning, you're probably dying. So. Okay, we're about there. Let's try it again. Nope. Okay. I do not want to hand fly this thing all the way to LaGuardia. That would not be fun. But we're coming up on our waypoint, and all we have to do is just stay on that waypoint. You can see it on the left screen. It's not the far left, the tiny screen, but you can see that star. It just turned, and so we're coming up on that waypoint, and we'll need to turn. But hopefully the autopilot will engage somewhere here. Let's go up to 32,000. Maybe it'll engage there. Like I said, I messed around with the flight plan yesterday, loading it into the FMC, and I'm sure that I messed it up, so that's why the autopilot's taking so long to kick in. But so far, so good. I really need to turn on some lights, so let's get these lights going here. Okay. All right. He's squawking at me because okay. All right. I'm not exactly sure what I did wrong, but he did not like that one bit. So, all right. Wow. I hope I don't have to hand fly this thing all the way, but it's looking like I'm gonna have to do that. Okay, flight directors are on. Wonder if I do this. Yeah, no. Okay. That's not gonna work either.
1,000 to go.
Let's see here. Yeah. Okay. I'll try to get my crosshairs right on the money here. Let's see if that'll work. No. Yeah, this is challenging. Right there. No. So you're watching a rookie.
1,000 to go.
Go through the learning phases. Nope. It is not gonna go for me. So just let's see if I move this up to 29.
1,000 to go.
All right, maybe that won't work. I'm gonna have to start my descent here pretty soon. She is not liking this at all. Yeah, like I said, if you want instructions on how to fly right, this is not the place. But if you just want to watch somebody fail
1,000 to go.
forward, it's probably your place. Okay, I think we're gonna have to give up on the autopilot. So let's just sit back and enjoy the flight. I'm gonna start my descent very gradual. And maybe we can just keep it right here. I wish I could just do this. Yeah, nothing's working, so we'll just keep it on a slight declines. And wow, let's get to the story, right? All right, so this will be interesting, trying to tell a story, keep your aircraft from crashing when you don't have autopilot. Let's see if we can pull this off, okay? So yeah, let's come over here. I'm gonna pull up my story. All right, so there's the 3 circles. But what we're really wanting to do is we want to look at Luke 5, 1 through 11, and that's the story of the big fisherman, Peter. And Peter was one of Jesus's first disciples. So we're going to talk about him. So Jesus was teaching a crowd of people, and they were pressing in on every side, but he was teaching near the shoreline of the Sea of Galilee. And he saw 2 boats lying on the edge and said to the fishermen that were washing their nets there, he said, let me get into your boat and push it out a little way. So that they did that, and that was Simon Peter's boat. And so he started teaching the people. And when he got done teaching the people, he said, Peter, let's push out into the deep and let down your nets for a catch. And so Peter did that, but he kind of balked. He said, now, Lord, we've been working hard all night and we haven't caught anything. So, but if you say, let down your nets, we'll do it. So when they did that, when they put their nets out, an amazing thing happened. They caught so many fish that the nets started to break. And they were just hauling all these fish in the boat. And they couldn't even haul all of them in. I mean, it was just an amazing catch. And when Peter saw that, he knew something was up. He fell on his face before Jesus in the boat and said, Lord, depart from me, for I am a sinful man. And Peter told him, Jesus told Peter, he said, for now on, your name is Peter, and you will be catching men. And so, this is a very interesting story that a fisherman, an uneducated blue-collar guy, is encountering Jesus in a miraculous way with a great catch of fish. And Peter, he knows something is going on here. He's very struck by the fact that a actual miracle has happened. And so let's kind of look at the three circles in light of Peter's confession. Here's brokenness, here's turning, here's Jesus's interaction, and then we see restoration. Here is this rebellion against God. So, all right, we probably better pay attention, but this is the problem when you don't have autopilot. All right, so we're going a little bit too fast. But, Peter acknowledges his brokenness. He says, Lord, depart from me, for I'm a sinful man. He knows his state. He knows who he is before God. And he just admits it. And he's confronted by this holy man, Jesus Christ, the Son of God, God himself, and he's confronted by his kindness in the fact that he performed a miracle for a fisherman, and they caught so many fish that the nets were breaking. And all he could do is look into his own soul and realize he did not deserve that. He realized he was broken. And so what does he do? He falls down. He tells Jesus, he doesn't even deserve to be in his presence. And you can see that admission, that repentance, that turning away from brokenness by Peter, by just simply acknowledging who he was. And how does Jesus respond? He gives them a new identity and a new mission. For now on, you'll be catching men. In Matthew 4:19, the phrase is, follow me and I'll make you fishers of men. So not only does he restore Peter's relationship with God and it's now perfect, but he also gives him purpose in life. So he's going to be following Jesus from here on out, and he's going to be fishing for men. In other words, passing the love of God on to other people. So that's Peter's new identity and his new mission, new purpose. So, you know, if we can take a look at this diagram again, you know, here's the questions. Are you still in rebellion against God? Are you living in brokenness? Do you want to turn, repent, receive God's gift of his Son, dying on a cross for your sins, raising from the dead? Now he's the King of Kings. He wants to restore you to a right relationship with him, that perfect relationship. But in order to do that, we need to come to grips with our own sin, our own rebellion, and acknowledge that we need Jesus in our life. So that's the hard part of this, is just acknowledging and then desiring that God would save us from ourselves. So that's what we're trying to communicate through these stories. The big fisherman, you know, he repented. He came to Jesus and he confessed. And so that's really an example for all of us to follow. You know, are you willing to come to God? Just come clean. Yep, I've messed up big time and I need you, you know. And when we do that, that's when he restores us to a right relationship with him. So that is the good news. And I'm compelled as your captain and chaplain to tell you about that good news. So hopefully that makes a radical difference in your life. That transforms you. That's what Jesus does. He gives you a new identity and a new purpose in life. So I hope you receive that. So one of the things that I do for the next 2 weeks, I'm on vacation. That means I might be doing these live streams more. But one of the things that I do on Wednesday nights at 6:30 Central is I have a Bible study. Not for the next 2 weeks, but on Wednesday night, not tonight, not 2 weeks, but in the future. You can check out my Facebook. Facebook name is Chuck Wood 2. And we do the Bible discussion online in Facebook live. So you're very welcome to join us. Just find me on Facebook, friend me, and then we'll discuss the Bible. So that's the objective. Okay, I am trying to concentrate while I'm talking. We're still on course. It's a miracle. But I'm just trying to get leveled out, get my speed right. We're descending probably a little bit too much, and I realize that it's probably not a whole lot of excitement looking at a blank screen. So once I get leveled out, then I'm gonna go outside for an outside view, and then we'll speed this thing up and get to a point we're ready to land, because quite frankly, flying by hand this way is very challenging, especially when you're trying to talk. So, okay, so we're just about leveled off here, and we're on course, which is a good thing. I'm gonna go back to my YouTube channel, see if there are any comments, and let's see here. There's some nice pretty lights, which means that I'm going down too quick. It is an extreme bummer not to have autopilot. Still don't have it. I'm gonna have to figure that out for sure. Okay, well, let's take a quick look outside. You notice that no place left logo and pure gold. That's a sign, a saying that we have. Pure gold is when we see something that is just, that's awesome. We call it pure gold. All right. So here we are. Moon shining on the clouds there. Awesome. All right. So we'll get on track, speed up, get to a place where we can make a landing. All right, here we go. I'm gonna speed the time up a little bit. By the way, those professional YouTubers would never do this. But for the sake of sanity, we'll do it. We'll get close. All right. Yeah, we're flying to our waypoints that will turn final and basically start heading towards the airport. LaGuardia International is where we're going into, and you will see Manhattan off the nose, so that'll be cool. It'll be dark, so you'll barely see it, but you'll see it nonetheless. All right. All right, we're coming up on waypoint Harp, Hotel Alpha Alpha Romeo Papa, and then we'll make our turn here. 14,000 feet, probably a little low for sure, but hey, when you don't have autopilot, you do the best you can. Okay, so we're turning, and let's get this puppy on course. You see that magenta line down there on the middle screen? That's our course. We're just trying to line up with that. I'm going to start slowing down our speed, and there we go. Head towards D-Hop, Delta Hotel Alpha Lima Papa, and yeah. Okay, we're looking good. Once we get that airport in sight, it'll feel even better. So this has been very challenging, trying to tell the story and fly the airplane. Didn't our moms tell us that we couldn't chew gum and talk and ride a bike and, multitasking? It's a myth. All right. Now, the pretty thing about this is, and this is probably the best thing about the flight, the sunset and then the landing is, not the actual landing, but the sight, the runway coming up and the city in the background. That's worth the price of admission, let me tell you. Okay, this thing's gonna start barking at me. Should start seeing it. We're within, let's see here, 11 miles, I think. That doesn't seem right. I think we'd see it if we were 11 miles out. But we're on course, so, let's see. Yeah, we need to turn a little bit to the left here. That's one of the reasons why I might not be able to see it. Is just, number one, there's a lot of clouds. We're at 20,000 feet. I do believe we're gonna overshoot this thing. Yeah, there's the bridges. The clouds have covered. I've overshot. Wow, this is turning into a nightmare of a flight. That's what happens when you don't have autopilot. All right. Well, one thing about going live, you get to see the good, the bad, and the ugly. And that's what you're seeing here tonight. So, maybe we can find our way to the airport. I didn't realize I had climbed so much on that bank to get lined up for my approach. And I probably just need to turn around and drop the speed and the altitude, bleed it, and come back in a little lower, like at 10,000 feet. So let's do that, because I see the bridges, and that means we've overshot. So we'll try to line up again. Wow. Oh, there it is. Way over. Oh, no, that's Kennedy. So, JFK. Well, such it is with the rookie pilot. Aren't you glad that you're not on the real aircraft with me flying? It could get gnarly. All right, we're gonna follow the Hudson River up just a little ways, make another approach. Yeah, we're way off. Way off. All right. Well, that was embarrassing. But no harm, no foul. So we're gonna straighten this thing out. We're gonna get it right, and then we're gonna stick the landing. How about that? I hope. Fortunately, did you notice at the beginning I put that extra fuel in there? That's why. I've done this before. I've overshot my runway by a long shot. All right, we should be able to see her. Yeah, I'm not seeing it. So on top of overshooting, we're lost. Oh, there it is. It's way over there. See at the top there? There she is. Okay. Well, it's gonna take a while. And we're dropping below the clouds. All right, let's get back on track. I'm going to go over here to my other map. Flight plan, go. Get back lined up. Check my fuel real quick. I really do not want to get back up in the clouds. Okay, I'm still good. That was part of my problem. Well, if you've watched this video to this point, you're probably placing your bets. Will this guy be able to land the aircraft? There's the Hudson River. We know a story about somebody else landing in the Hudson River. So, okay, getting a little low. Level out. It's hard because I want to stay below those clouds so I can see. I don't want to overshoot it again. If we overshoot it again, we'll call it a night and try it again tomorrow. But yeah. All right. I'm basically flying by instruments now in my map over here to the right. So here in a couple of minutes, we're gonna make a right-hand turn and then get back on the flight path and try to make a good landing out of this disaster. So if we stick the landing, then it'll be worth it, right? If you stick the landing. So what do you want to talk about between now and landing? I probably should concentrate on the landing, all right? So let's go around here. Start to turn. Set up final. So like I was saying earlier, I'm 61. I've been playing flight simulators since the beginning. I'm really looking forward to Microsoft Flight Sim 2020. That's going to be awesome. And now, before you hate on me because I'm talking about Flight Simulator 2020 and I'm just slowing down too much, so I need to be careful on that. But I love Explain 11. Let me tell you, I think those developers did a great job with this, and all the things that you can do to enhance aircraft and flight models and things like that. It's really amazing what you can do with a flight simulator on your computer. So I'm a diehard Explain 11 fan. You know, I just want people to know that. I do believe I'm running out of fuel. All right. What's the closest airport? Something happened. There's one right below me. There it is, right over there. If I could just make that. Yeah, I'm toast. I'm gonna get my flaps all the way up. I'm gonna try to make it. Something went wrong. Yeah. Okay, folks. Prepare for a crash landing. I got an airport right below me. Oh boy. Yep. Yeah, I'm in trouble, folks. I got full throttle and no airspeed.
Bank angle.
Yeah, I know. I just gotta. I gotta find an airport.
2,500.
Yeah, folks in the back, they would be totally sick. All right, my gear's down. So I'm gonna have to, I'm at 222 and I'm slowing down again. So I'm gonna bank hard and try to make this runway. It's gonna squawk on me on my bank angle. All right. Yeah, I know it's low. I got it full throttle.
1,000 feet, stabilized, Mr. Birch, altitude set.
All right, we're in big trouble, folks. This is, yeah. All right, folks, put your head between your knees and brace for impact. We're actually gaining speed, so we might be able to pull this out. Look at that. Somehow, a miracle. We have pulled it out of disaster. I do not know how, but we are actually gaining speed and altitude, and I see the runway off in the distance. So if we can just get there, we'll be all right. And we're still gaining altitude. That's a long ways off, folks. That's a long ways. So if we can just hold it right here, we'll be just fine. Okay? Yeah? Wow. Can we make it? I don't know, something's wrong with the engines, but when I mess with the throttle back and forth, I get more speed. So if we can just milk this thing over to the runway. By the way, I'm not doing this for dramatics, okay? This is real. Oh man. So I'm really hoping this runway is long enough for this big old thing, because quite frankly, I do not think this is LaGuardia. I think it's lights and salvation. So, okay. Wow, we've made this an exciting flight, haven't we? Okay. Oh, okay. I don't know that I can use flaps. So basically, I might have to try to stall this thing out, because flaps are a no-go. It's bleeding off too much speed too quickly. All right, my glide slope is good. You see the visual approach path indicator, 2 red, 2 white on the right side of the runway. As long as we keep it right there, we'll be good. And we do need to slow down, because, okay, we're high. We need to slow down. We need to slow down a lot now. Isn't it funny? There was a moment where we needed speed, and now I know I'm trying to get low
Approach altitude set.
so I can slow. I know. Okay. Man, I'm coming in really hot. 225 knots. I don't know that this is gonna work. Okay, I need to switch this to max. Okay. Sorry to those folks in the back.
50, 40, 30, 10, 10.
Whoa. Oh boy. Wow. Oh.
80 knots.
My goodness. I'm telling you, there was no skill involved in that. But
Please remain seated with your seatbelts fastened and all items stowed until the seatbelt sign is turned off. Please make sure you have all your personal belongings before you exit the aircraft, and be careful when opening the overhead compartment. You're now free to use your mobile phones and small lightweight devices.
thank you for flying with us today. We hope you've had a pleasant experience, and we look forward to welcoming you again on another flight.
That was a very pleasant experience, wasn't it? Oh my goodness. Hey, let's look at the replay on that thing. That was some serious craziness right there. I do not have a clue what happened. I just started losing speed. So we don't have to repeat the whole thing, but let's check outside and watch this landing. Crazy. Well, I'm glad the flight attendants were so happy about the landing that we made. Yeah, I'm sure the passengers weren't, but hey, flight attendants keeping it positive. That's good. Good for the company. Okay, so usually I'm trying to land at 164, 65 knots. We landed at like 200 and something. I think it was 230. So how we didn't go off the end of the runway, I mean, we did land hard. You saw the little report down there, RIP, rest in peace. But for everything that happened on this flight, hey, I'm just happy to be here, and so are my passengers. So I was doing good. I got 2 red, 2 white, glide slopes all right. And then I forgot that I didn't have my auto brakes turned on, and I needed them on max, and that's why I dipped down like that. And now it's a roller coaster ride, just trying to get back on the glide slope. And here we come. We're gonna watch those wheels. Okay, we touched down. Whoa, you see that front wheel compress like that? Again, wow. Okay, that's why in lower right, rest in peace, yes. That's why that happened, okay? But we stopped before we ran out of runway. It's a miracle. Okay, I think that we have gone far too long in this video, and you've listened to me. Thanks for being patient. Thanks for having fun. You know, like I said, I've been your captain and your chaplain. I'm really praying for y'all, and I thank you. Let me pray real quick. Father, I thank you for the people that are watching. I just pray that you bless their lives. Protect them from the virus and all the things as a result of the virus. And Lord, help them feel your love. And I love them, you love them. Help them experience that in a powerful way today. In Jesus' name, amen. All right, folks. Been great to be with you. We'll see you next time.